Morning all. Righto.
Steve, feeling any different today now that you've had a chance to?
No, I'm still hurting, as you'd expect, and like I'm sure the whole country's hurting, and but you come to a tournament like this, and you want to win the thing. We played some good footy along the way, and unfortunately last night we got beaten by a team that was better than us. The boys give it all they had, and we probably had a patch in the first half where we lost our way a wee bit with our line out and lost our attacking platform, and at the same time England took their opportunities. They came at us hard, and we defended well, but you're just never getting any time to set, so it looked like we're going backwards all the time, and I know it probably felt like that for the boys, and it felt like that watching it. So you've got to make sure in big games like that you get your share of the possession, and I think there's 20 line-outs, a lot of line-outs for a game like that, and we just didn't take those opportunities. So if you don't take them against a good side, you're going to get hurt. And but I can't fault the commitment of our guys. Just on the night, we didn't take the opportunities that were given to us, and as a result, finished second.
Is that hard to stomach? Steve, as a all-base coach, that another team can be so much better than you in such a big game?
I don't know if it was so much better. I think it's small margins when you get two teams like that, and is it hard to stomach? Of course it is. It's gut-wrenching because we want to win the thing, but so did they. And sport's not fair. It is what it is. Life's not fair, so why would sport be fair? You don't always get the thing you want, and when you don't, then you've got to measure your character on how you deal with that. And I think, again, I've been very proud of the way the boys have stood tall and kept their heads up, and we've got a week now to have another opportunity to play, and it'll be a good measure of how we cope with that.
Yep. How on earth do you get players back up for this game that in the past no one really wanted to play?
Yeah, well, I think in the future no one wants to either, but
Is it a waste of time?
that's not for me to comment on. The fact is the game's there, and the fact is we have to get up. They're the inconvenient facts. So how do we do that? Well, we get connected again, and we set ourselves an immediate goal, and we work hard to make sure that we really enjoy this week. It'll be the last week that this team's together, and we have an opportunity to do it well. So it's our choice how we do that, and I know in talking to the boys that we'll get a response.
Paul, tell me.
Steve, have you ever seen a better England performance in a really big game? And did you see the potential for them playing that well earlier in the tournament, or did this take you by surprise?
Oh, it didn't take us by surprise. We knew we were in for a heck of a battle. Right? This England team hasn't just snuck up and poked us in the face. They won 18 games in a row. Now, there's only one other team in the world that's done that over the history of the game. So that makes them a pretty formidable side. We played them last year, and we managed to win that game by a point. I can't remember what the score was, but it was a titanic struggle. And they're a team that were coming into this tournament with, the last 4 years really, with a massive amount of pain themselves. The adversity of not making even the quarterfinals from their own tournament hurt them, and that they've been working their butts off probably more so than any other England team in history. So we got what we expected, and we just have to acknowledge on the night they did things a little better than we did. It's about execution, and they executed really well. All the hard ball gets, they just about got all of them. Some days the ball bounces left and you get it, and some days it bounces right and they get it, and that's what happened. But you just can't take away from the fact that they played well. And when you look at our own stats, like apart from that middle part of the line out, most of our stats are pretty good. But once the scoreboard got to where it got to late in the second half, then I thought George Ford played particularly well and put us into positions where we had to really work to try and get out of deep in our own territory and try to force things to do it, because we didn't have opportunities. They chased well, all his kicks, they chased well right across the park, and so when it's like that, you've just got to applaud them for doing what they did. And again, I applaud my own side for not giving up and giving the best they had, but on the day it just wasn't enough.
I'll go Nathan, Nigel, and then Paddy.
Steve, normally a bronze game like this is when you can go into your whole squad and I kind of think that when you look at those. Will you do that, or have you had those senior players come to you and demand, I really want to be in this game?
Oh, look, we haven't sat down and talked to the players about who's playing yet, and it's a Friday game, so we'll name the team on the press day. What day will that be? Wednesday. But there are two options. You ask the guys that went round on Saturday go round again, or you use your whole squad. And we've always said we're a team of 31, and we've been working hard for each other. So I would probably, if I was going to lean anyway, if I was a journalist writing a story, I'd probably lean the way that there'll be a few extra people, new guys coming in, and if there is, then they probably deserve to be.
Way go, Nigel.
At the moment we're seeing defences probably even more overtly dominant than we have in recent times. As an attacking mind, what do you think is going to be the progression needed to bring it back and even up a little bit and get the attack in a game like we saw yesterday, going the way and sort of responding to those defensive challenges?
Yeah, we've been trending that way for a while, but it's interesting when you look at sort of average tries scored in test matches the last 10 years. It's not like it's trending down. There's still lots of opportunities, and teams are still scoring tries, but clearly it's defences are getting a lot better organised and trying different things. So, but one try apiece in an England All Black game is not unusual, is it? If you look at our history, the two teams that generally try to suffocate each other, and we're always trying new things. We're always trying to find new ways, and I think the frustrating part is that we've sort of come across a little bit of a formula that's worked really well for us this campaign, and we didn't execute it as well as what we wanted last night. So, whilst we're bitterly disappointed with that, and we'll go away and figure out how to address that for next Friday. There's still a great attitude amongst the players, and I think that's the key thing. You just got to keep the attitude positive and wanting to play.
Is it harder to change the point of attack though, I guess, at the moment, given the way teams will either push up hard or up and out? Is it changing the point of attack, which has sometimes been one of the points of difference, is that harder at the moment in the game?
Yeah, I think you're asked more questions consistently during a game than what people think. So if your set piece doesn't perform, then you're faced with a lot of line speed. If your set piece does perform, then generally you can dictate that. And I think we saw England do that to us early. They got good ball and got a good platform. After that, I think it wasn't so much about line speed. I think both teams defended each other pretty well. I thought they push a lot, England, particularly towards in the outside channels, and we weren't quite as aggressive at running at them as what we would have liked to be. So there's a whole lot of decisions you've got to make individually that we just got to keep getting better and better at. But it's our mindset, to attack, and didn't quite get it right. But we'll keep working on that.
We'll go Paddy, Mark, and then Liam.
Yes, Steve.
there is another game to go, and it is a World Cup, and it's a bubble. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on. Is it something in terms of what it means for you, in terms of what it means for Steve Hansen? Is that something that has to wait, or is that something that you can start dealing with now, or the bigger picture, is that something that waits till after this game, till you get home, or can you deal with what it means for Steve Hansen now?
Look, it's another test match, so it's another opportunity for us to be who we are, the All Blacks, and it's not about an individual. In this case, it's not about me; it's about the team. And like, we don't have a lot of rules in the All Blacks, but we have expectations, and we have some non-negotiables. And the number one non-negotiable is team first, individual second. So I'm not even thinking about what's happening other than what we're going to do this week, so we can perform. Our job as coaches and management is, we can't play the game, but we can create an environment where the guys can get excited, get to Saturday in a space that they can absolutely deliver on what they want to do. And then, you know, you've got to sit back and watch what happens. And that's what we'll do this week. You know, it'll be business as usual. We don't know who we're playing yet, but what we do know is the team we're playing will have the same emotional feelings as we do. So that's part of this contest this week, is who can master that the best. And you know, that's our role, is to help these boys, these men, get back up. You know, when you get knocked over, and in this case we got knocked over because we didn't get what we wanted, your character's going to be questioned. And you have a choice. Do I stand up and, you know, wear my big man pants, or do I stay down and wear my little boy pants? And you know, so that's what we're going to try and do. We're going to stand up and represent our country again with pride and dignity, and execute as well as we possibly can, and you know, try and get a result.
We'll go to Mark in a minute.
Steve, it was kind of mentioned last night, but 2007 was the last time the All Blacks lost to the World Cup, and it became a watershed moment for the team in terms of how you came out of that. Now, you won't be part of it, but going forward, what are the big lessons that All Blacks can take as an entity out of yesterday, and how everything unfolded?
Look, what comes out of a tournament like this is that, and it's unique because it's knockout, you don't get a second chance. So the pain isn't alleviated by playing another test the next week. You know, whomever we play next week won't alleviate the pain of the fact that we haven't achieved what we wanted to achieve, which was come here and win it. So you've got to bank that, and you've also then got to sit back and learn some of the lessons. What lessons have we, and we'll do that when we get the tournament finished. What could we have done better? And you know, it doesn't matter what tournament it is, even if you win it, there's things you can do better. So it's important that we do that really, really well. I guess when you lose, regardless if it's a tournament or a test match, you always can find the inconvenient facts that maybe you've been sandpapering over a bit. You know, we're in a stage, I think, in All Black rugby where we love to play footy, and the world has responded by creating different line speeds and defensive patterns, and we're at a stage where we're starting to look like we're starting to make some really good progress in that area. And as Fozzie mentioned last night, it wasn't actually line speed that got in the way. It was probably the lack of it. And it's in the moment, being able to adjust and adapt to those different things happening within a game. So there's a good lesson for us to take away. So there'll be a lot of lessons and a lot of learning, and it'll be fed by a bit of adversity, which is, you know, adversity makes you a little hungry.
Steve, you mentioned the hardball carries from England, and just like their pure physicality seemed quite overwhelming at times. Have you been able to put your finger on why you maybe could have matched that?
They don't play a sophisticated game. Win the ball, give it to a big bloke and run hard. Win that collision. and it's rugby in it, you know, in its simplistic form, but it's beautiful. In the same sentence, you know, like they use their big man to the full extent they could. When you win a collision, you know, you go forward, and the game has never changed from the first time it was ever played until the last time it's ever played. Is the team that goes forward will win the game the most. And they won those collisions, and they got quick ball, and then you're trying to reset again and come forward to look after another big man, and you know, yet they gave us some opportunities from turnover ball, and on another night we might have scored, but we didn't. So they keep getting rewards for what they were doing, and we were getting not so many. So eventually, you know, like at 13-7, I thought, here we go, we can come back here and win this game. At 16-7, I thought the same. And then we gave away, you know, our discipline was poor, and we gave away a penalty and let them off the hook. And if you go through the game, there's little moments all the way along that we let them off the hook. But they were good enough not to let us off it, and that was the difference. We have to accept that and learn from it, you know. Bridgie, big toe over the line. The week before we saved 2 doing that. So that you know, that's the difference. And small margins, and they make a difference.
We'll go Nigel, and then we'll go Ian.
Steve, how was that for you with Eddie Jones? Are you able to share us a little bit about how that moment was between 2 good mates after a hell of a test?
It was just, you know, like there was a lot of respect from both sides, and he was particularly mindful of how I was feeling, and I was quite encouraging of what they have to do next. So, but the nice thing was, like, some of their guys came into our shed, and our coaching group went down to their shed and shared a beer. So, you know, the game's moved on a heck of a lot from a lot of its traditions, but at the end of the day, it is only a game. It means a lot, and that's not to put down what it means, but it is only a game, and what's more important is the people that come out of it, and the characters that come out of it, and the friendships you make, and you know, the learnings you get as a person. Sport can teach you a lot. So it was nice to share a beer with them. You know, Mitch is a great teammate of Foz's, and he coached Stormy, so it was nice for them to interact. Gilly, I think, worked for Mitch as well. So Wisey's a character in his own right, their back coach, and we know him well. So, and it was nice to meet some of the younger guys in their coaching crew. So, you know, as I said early in the week, one team's going to miss out, and whoever that is, they just have to take it on the chin. And you know, and it's in those moments, I think, that it's important that you stand up and show that if winning's easy, you know, because you don't get too much poked at you, and you're happy, but when you lose, you're gutted. But at the same time, you have to, I believe anyway, you have to show humility and do it gracefully, and be honest about the things that you have to be honest about, and you know, sometimes you just have to bite down on your gum shield and suck it up.
Does it make losing easier than it is losing to a good bloke?
No. No.
We'll go Ian, and then we'll have one more. Matt.
Could you just
Sorry,
ask
okay.
us-
Sorry, yeah, we'll go Ian, Matt, and then Phil to wrap it up.
Steve, could you just give us your assessment of Maro Itoje? You've had a lot of dealings with him now. How good is he, do you think? And how good can he become?
Well, I think he's maturing into a really good rugby player, obviously. We all know that. You know, watched the game this morning, and he was a nuisance on many occasions. So he's athletic, he's a smart player, has the ability to adapt and adjust in the moment to what he's seeing and what he's feeling. So, you know, he's one of those players that could go on and be, you know, a great. but you know, like I haven't coached him. I've only coached against him. I think he's a better player now than he was in the Lions series. More complete. And yeah, like I can't give him any more compliments on that.
Yep, Matt and then Phil.
Steve, there was a moment after the game, obviously players were laid out on the field, some walking around not quite sure what to do with themselves. You wandered off to the side of the field and were by yourself and made a phone call. I just wondered, who does an All Black coach call in that moment? Then I saw you took it to Ted, Conrad Smith. What sort of things were said, if you don't mind me asking?
No, I don't mind you asking. I rang my wife. And we had a bit of a chat, then talked to Ted and Conrad about 07. And we mentioned the fact that it's no different, the same gutting feeling. Then Ted and I talked a little bit about how well George Ford had played, and Ted had quite a few comments, and I did a bit of listening and trying to do a bit of learning. And then, you know, you just move on, don't you?
Phil,
Steve, you mentioned character before. How important do you think, getting back to this bronze medal game, how important a really good performance in that for the All Blacks is for the self-belief of some of the young guys in the team who may have been a bit battered down by the game last night?
Yeah, well, look, for the young guys, and to be fair, the old guys, like there's not been a lot of adversity. You know, for 12 years we've been reasonably successful, game after game after game. I think, you know, we've dropped maybe 10 games now. We've lost out of over 104 or 5, which is pretty amazing in itself. But what that does do is it takes away all those guys that have actually felt the pain. So it's important that, you know, we bottle that pain, and you know, those young guys that are going to be around for a long time, because they're super talented young men, and it's experience that they'll have in their back pocket. And to answer your question about how important is it to get back on the horse and kick it in the guts and get on with it, it's massively important. You know, I think this team will never be together again. No team is, you know, from year to year. So we all know that some people are moving on, and it's an opportunity for us to go and express things on Saturday night that we find particularly special about being an All Black, and we've got to represent the legacy of the jersey and those that have come before us by showing that we can play well again. And yeah, it'll be a different changing shed than it was certainly last night, if we can get up and win that game. And you know, I think it's important that we play well more than anything else. So we'll deal with that when the time comes, I suppose, Phil. But
thanks everyone. Wrap it up there.